You've probably felt it on first dates, in relationships, reading bios, watching other people's drama from the outside and thinking, what is wrong with modern dating? You see it everywhere. The woman who orders the most expensive thing never offers to pay and acts like that's just your job. The situations where her needs are urgent, yours are negotiable, and somehow you're selfish for even noticing. The breakups where no matter what actually happened, the story is always he was the problem. The dating profiles that read like a shopping list: height requirement, income requirement, lifestyle requirement, but absolutely no mention of what she brings in return. A lot of men look at all this and jump to the same conclusion. Women today are just greedy, rude, and entitled. And on the surface, it can absolutely look that way. But that explanation is too easy. It feels satisfying for 5 seconds and then changes nothing. What if you're looking at it from too close? What if the behaviors you're seeing aren't random personalities, but products, not of a secret conspiracy, of something much more basic and much more powerful: incentives, money? Today, I want to walk you through a different way of seeing all this, not to excuse toxic behavior, not to bash women, but to show you the machinery behind what you're experiencing. Because once you understand how the system benefits from relationship chaos, you stop taking it personally and you start getting strategic. 1. The system doesn't care about you, it cares about movement. When I say the system, I'm not talking about a group of people in a dark room plotting against men. I'm talking about something way less dramatic and way more dangerous: governments, corporations, media, big platforms, financial incentives, all of them operating on one simple principle. If it makes money, it grows. If it doesn't, it dies. No feelings, no morality, no long-term view of human happiness, just profitability. That's it. And when you see the world through that lens, modern dating suddenly stops being so mysterious. Stable, low drama couples who live below their means. They don't buy much. They don't move that often. They don't need therapy every week. They're boring to the economy. Breakups, 2 apartments, 2 sets of furniture, lawyers, therapy, dating apps, vacations to heal, nights out to forget. Chaos spins cash. Stability doesn't. No one needed to design an anti-relationship agenda. All it took was millions of small decisions over time, all favoring short-term economic gain over long-term human well-being. The result is what you're living in right now: a culture that says it values love and family, but rewards instability, greed, and unrealistic expectations. 2. The loneliness economy: why broken people are profitable. Look at what happens when people are lonely, insecure, and emotionally unstable. They drink more, they swipe more, they binge more: food, streaming, porn, social media. They buy more self care products. They sign up for courses, coaching, retreats, and quick fixes. A lonely man with a broken heart is an ideal consumer. He spends to distract himself. He spends to prove himself. He spends to feel something. He spends to escape his own thoughts. Now multiply that by millions of men and millions of women doing the same thing. That is a huge market. Healthy, secure, stable couples. They're boring to the system. They cook at home more. They buy less stupid stuff. They move less. They need fewer services. There is zero economic incentive for the system to teach you how to build a calm, loyal, long-term relationship. But there is a massive incentive to keep you single or constantly restarting normalized short-term situationships. Encourage you deserve more thinking on both sides. Make you feel like your life is incomplete unless you upgrade something. That's the first big reality shift. You're not living in a culture designed for your happiness. You're living in a culture optimized for your consumption. Once you really see that, a lot of rude, greedy behavior stops being confusing. It starts being predictable. 3, dating apps don't want you in a relationship. Let's talk about the digital elephant in the room, dating apps. What do apps need to survive? Active users, daily logins, swipes, time spent. If you meet someone amazing, leave the app, get married, have kids, and never come back. That is a failure for their business model. They made a customer who left. So what do they engineer? Infinite choice, constant FOMO. Maybe someone better is one more swipe away. Women experience this most intensely because they receive far more attention. They get more matches. They are constantly being validated over time. That does something to the mind. A man isn't a person. He's one of hundreds of profiles. A date isn't a connection. It's a comparison test. A relationship isn't a blessing. It's a potential downgrade. And this affects men too. You're competing not with real men in her area. You're competing with the idea of endless options. In that environment, is it really surprising that you meet entitled attitudes? You have to impress me, energy, zero sense of gratitude for effort. The app taught her there are 100 more where you came from. If you don't perform, you're replaceable. You're angry at her individual behavior, but look at the machine that trained her. 4, social media turned attention into currency. Now add social media. For women, especially young women, one message has been hammered nonstop. Your value, us, how much attention you can generate. Likes, DMs, comments, followers. She posts a photo. Strangers validate her. She doesn't need to build character to feel valuable. She just needs a good angle and a filter. So what happens? She starts to internalize, I deserve attention. Men become interchangeable sources of it. If you don't give it, someone else will. And on top of that, brands pay women who can grab attention. Platforms boost provocative content. OnlyFans and similar models show her a direct path from sexual display to income. We've turned the need to feel seen into a literal revenue stream that has consequences. Imagine you're 22 and you learn. By posting sexy content, I get attention, adoration, and money. How do you now see? The man taking you on a normal date? The man asking for basic mutual respect? The man who doesn't worship you on sight? To a mind trained by algorithms, that man looks boring, replaceable, not doing enough. Is every woman like this? No. But enough are shaped by this environment that you feel the shift. 5, what women are taught versus what men are taught. Let's zoom in on the programming. What many women are taught. You're a queen. Never settle. You deserve the best. If he can't meet your standards, replace him. If he doesn't spend, he doesn't value you. Your standards are never the problem. Translated into behavior, that looks like entitlement material demands framed as standards, total lack of self-reflection, zero accountability for their role in relationship failure. On the other side, what many men are still taught, be a gentleman. Real men provide. Put her first. Happy wife, happy life. A real man sacrifices without complaining. This used to exist in a mutual contract. He provided security and resources. She provided loyalty, support, children, and respect. Now the system kept his script and ripped hers up. So you get men still trying to be providers. Women trained as consumers of men. That misalignment is exactly what you feel as. Unfair, one-sided, exploitative. Because it is. Not on an individual level every time. On a systemic level. 6. If they wanted to fix it, they would. You've seen how fast governments and corporations can move when it matters to them. Pandemic hits. Within weeks, entire economies shut down. New laws, new rules, new systems. Trillions of dollars appear from nowhere. When there is enough incentive, the machine pivots fast. Now look at issues that destroy families and relationships: biased family courts, fatherless homes, male suicide rates, mental health resources for men, boys falling behind in school. Decades of reports, complaints, data, almost no serious change. What does that tell you? There's no incentive to fix this. Broken families, more state involvement, more consumption, more emotional damage that gets medicated, therapized, and monetized. Stable families, less drama, less consumption, more independence. The system doesn't care about your heartbreak. It cares about whether you stay on the treadmill. 7. Influencer culture. Two sides of the same poison. While all this is happening, there's another layer making it worse. Influencer culture. On the female targeted side, if he doesn't do X, he's trash. You're a goddess. He's lucky to even speak to you. Never lower your standards. Every discomfort. Emotional abuse. On the male targeted side, women are the enemy. Never trust them. Use them. Don't commit. All relationships are traps. Both are selling the same product: fear. Fear keeps you watching. Fear keeps you commenting. Fear keeps you engaged. And the longer you're engaged, the more ads. You see courses you buy, content you binge. Meanwhile, something else quietly happens. Women raised on "I'm the prize" become impossible to satisfy. Men raised on "never trust her" become emotionally unavailable and cold. Put them in the same dating pool and you get her. He's not doing enough. Him. She's trying to use me. No trust, no goodwill, no shared story of what a relationship should be. Just two people playing defense. 8. Men's secret weakness: attachment without tools. There's another layer most men don't see in themselves. Men are told, be strong, don't complain, handle it, so they never learn how to manage anxiety and love, obsession, emotional dependency. Then they meet a woman who hits all their emotional buttons. And what happens? They fall hard. They feel things deeply. They begin to wrap their identity around her. In that state, they will ignore red flags, over explain, justify bad behaviors, sacrifice their peace to keep her, not because they're weak, because nobody ever taught them how to feel that much and still think clearly. This is where men get exploited. A woman conditioned by the system to extract. A man conditioned by the system to overgive. Perfect match for everyone except him. When you don't understand your own attachment patterns, you're not just fighting external dysfunction, you're fighting yourself. 9. The old rules died, nothing replaced them. Whatever you think about traditional gender roles, they had one advantage. Everyone knew the script. Man provides, protects, woman nurtures, supports. Marriage is the container. Was it perfect? No. Was it fair for everyone? No. But it was clear. Now, we blew up the old model and never built a new one. So you end up with two people in a relationship with completely different expectations. No shared understanding. He thinks that I work, provide, show loyalty. That should matter. She thinks that's bare minimum. I want emotional support, fun, lifestyle upgrades, social clout, and if I'm bored, I leave. Neither is fully wrong from their conditioning, but they're not operating from the same operating system. This is why so many relationships feel like playing a game where no one knows the rules, but both accuse the other of cheating. 10. So what does healthy even look like now? If the system is dysfunctional, what would a functional connection even look like? Strip away all the noise, and it's actually simple. 1. Mutual investment. Both bring something real to the table. Both sacrifice for the relationship. Both care about each other's well being, not he gives, she demands, she evaluates, but we're building something together. 2. Emotional control. Not no emotions. Emotional regulation. You can be angry without exploding. She can be upset without detonating the relationship. You both can talk without turning every issue into betrayal. Chaos might be entertaining on TikTok. In real life, it's unlivable. 3. Shared reality. Her living in Instagram fantasies. You living in traditional wife fantasies. But two people agreeing on what loyalty means, what respect looks like, what the future should roughly look like. 4. Responsibility. No permanent victims, no permanent villains. Both ask, what part of this is mine to fix? That kind of woman exists. That kind of man exists. The system just doesn't highlight them because they don't generate drama. They don't live online. They're not loud. You find them by becoming one of them. 11. What you can actually control as a man. You're not going to redesign the economy. You're not going to fix dating apps. You're not going to detox social media. But you can do a lot more than you think. 1. Stop taking the system's output. Personally, when a woman behaves entitled, materialistic, transactional, it feels personal. It usually isn't. You're dealing with her upbringing, her social media feed, her friend group, her fears, her incentives. She's playing a script she didn't write. That doesn't mean you excuse it. It means you stop trying to fix her. You just opt out. You see the behavior early and you walk. No arguments, no lectures, no begging. Just, not for me. 2. Build a life that isn't built around being chosen. This is the most powerful thing you can do. Stop living like love will save you. Because that belief makes you easy to manipulate, easy to exploit, easy to break. When your life is already meaningful without a relationship, you negotiate differently. You tolerate less nonsense. You move slower. You choose better. You become selective instead of grateful for crumbs. 3. Learn your own weak spots. Ask yourself honestly, where do I lose all logic with women? What kind of attention makes me blind? What patterns do I keep repeating? It might be chasing emotionally unavailable women, getting addicted to sexual attention, trying to fix broken people, becoming a wallet with a heartbeat. Whatever it is, name it. You can't defend against an enemy you refuse to see. 4. Raise your standards and your value. A lot of men raise their standards with nothing to back them up. That's just delusion. Your standards should rise with your value. Improve your finances. Get your health in order. Develop skills. Build a social life. Learn emotional discipline. Not for women, for yourself. Women are a side effect. Verse 5. Be explicit about your framework. In a world with no shared script, you need to state yours. I don't do entitlement. I don't reward disrespect. I'm generous, but not with people who bring nothing. If you want traditional treatment, bring traditional loyalty. You don't need to give a speech. You show it with who you date, who you keep, who you walk away from immediately. Your actions become your filter. 12. The real answer to why are women so rude and greedy now? The honest answer? Most of them aren't. What you're seeing is the loudest, the most damaged, the most rewarded by the system rude, greedy women exist. So do rude, greedy men. But the reason it feels like there are more of them now is simple. Our culture rewards those traits more than ever and gives no roadmap for anything better. So both sides become worse. She becomes more entitled. You become more resentful. Both lose faith in the opposite sex. The system wins. You both lose. Once you understand that, you stop asking, why are women like this? And start asking, why am I trying to build something real in a system that profits when I fail? And what do I need to become to win anyway? 13. Final reality. Check. You are not crazy for noticing entitlement, materialism, lack of reciprocity. You are not weak for wanting real connection. You are not toxic for questioning a system that clearly doesn't work. You're just ahead of most people because you're not only feeling the problem, you're trying to understand it. Here's the distilled truth. The system is not on your side. The culture is not neutral. The incentives are not aligned with your happiness. So you have two choices: complain, blame, and stay confused. Keep repeating the same patterns, hoping the right one magically appears in a polluted environment. Step out of the script. Build yourself. Learn the game. Protect your time, money, and peace. Only deal with people whose behavior proves they're playing a different game too. You can't fix the system. You can refuse to be its product. You don't need to hate women. You don't need to worship them either. You need to see reality clearly, protect yourself intelligently, and choose from a place of strength, not desperation. Because in a world that profits from you being broken, the most rebellious thing you can do is become whole.